because last night he was supposed to be at his Bible study class. But apparently Charles's commitment to the Lord is not what it should be. Because,
what are you talking about?
Well, because you weren't at your... Father Tom Hartman's here. Hi, Father Tom.
Good morning.
How are you?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. We can start his commitment.
We know that, Rabbi Gelman.
Yeah. I'm representing Governor John.
Dr. Billy Saul Harkis, God's Other Son, as in the book by the same title, available right now in every bookstore and every village and hamlet in every county of this here heathen country. But I'm not here to talk about that, dearly beloved. I'm here because I got several things to unload on you today. And first off is the fact that this is a heathen country. And finally, we got somebody trying to do something about it, praise God. Step right up and give the big old middle finger to Newt Gingrich. Look like a warthog, but gotta be an angel, praise Jesus. Because he's trying to get prayer restored to our national classroom. And I know, friends, you're seeking guidance in this regard. You wonder, where do I come down on the issue? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, where would you think? This is an opportunity to find our moral footing again, friends. And I'm not in favor of any stupid moment of silence either, because some smart aleck would just fart in the middle of it and ruin it. School prayer? Why, hell, son, I'm in favor of a constitutional amendment mandating snake handling. I want the little children throwing themselves prostrate on the floor, kicking their feet and patting the little fists. I want the little children setting each other on fire. I want constitutionally mandated animal sacrifices. Although it's a pragmatic matter when I think about it, the first place we ought to adopt a constitutional prayer amendment is on U.S. air. Did you see where lightning struck one of them suckers the other day? Now, if that ain't a message, I don't know what is. Anyway, a couple of other matters to clear up. I know a lot of you people reading God's Other Son are upset about what the woman who raised me, Step Edna, did to me when I was a little child. Well, unfortunately, a lot of people do strange things to one another in the family setting. Some people are plate throwers. Some people are pecker snappers. She never hit me with a skillet. She did snap my pecker. Ours was a Christian home. It could have been worse. I could have got caught by an ex-NFL running back trying to return a pair of sunglasses to her and wound up looking like the carcass of a Jeffrey Dahmer Thanksgiving turkey. Which brings me to a concluding point, faith partner. Let us all remember to be thankful this year for our many blessings. Well, some of us have had more than others, but God likes me better than you. That's why I'm on the radio, on your back, on the bestseller list, making the equivalent of the Vatican's annual gross national product. God likes me, and he thinks you suck. But you got to be thankful for whatever hand you've been dealt. So get your bird, plop it on the platter while she's still moist, hot and ready for action. Then climb up there on the Thanksgiving table and stuff that bugger like old Step Edna would want you to. Yes, sir, grab a drumstick in each hand, yell, Lord, I'm coming home, and go for that cavity of depravity. Say, who the hell cares about prayer in school? I'm stuffing a turkey with my sinful tooth. Say, hallelujah, can I get an amen now?
Bowling history in Providence. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Steve Spare with the call on the Keglers Radio Network. Larry Loeb and Jason Couch. Superb performances last night at the Pro Senior Double Championships in Rhode Island. And they'll be in tonight's finals, and that can be heard on WFAN in New York with all the play-by-play, starting with the pregame show, Bowling Today at 7:35.
All right.
From boxing, Joe Frazier says he wants to extend the olive branch to Muhammad Ali. The two boxing rivals have had a very chilly relationship for years, mainly because Frazier could not forgive Ali for the vicious remarks he made prior to some of their fights, calling him an Uncle Tom and a gorilla.
You know, one time I made an appearance at Dick Gidron Ford, out in the Bronx, with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
I recall it. I was there for that event myself.
Oh, okay.
I was accompanied the
It was me,
Yep.
Muhammad Ali, and Joe Frazier.
You imagine?
Hey, you wrinkle up old skunk. Get out the way. I'm the star here.
At Dick Gidron's Ford dealership in the Bronx.
You scrawny little faggot, shut up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Quite a day, quite a day.
And every judge on the take in the Bronx.
This big, huge sit-down. I mean, it was
It
incredible.
was absolutely like a mob sit-down with Dick Gidron.
Hey, Joe Frazier, you stupid yard ape.
And Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali.
Why'd you go pick some cotton? Your Uncle Tom?
That would be fine, Muhammad.
Well, Joe said yesterday it's time to end the feud.
That's pretty good, Bernard.
Shut up, you wrinkle up old jackass.
What do you mean, Bernard? That's the chant.
Way to go, champ.
Frazier's recent comments a far cry from his opening ceremonies comments after the Olympic Games, when Smoking Joe said it would have been a good thing if he lit the torch and fell in. Joe said if I had the chance, I'd have pushed him in. But feeling bad about some of his comments.
Oh, my God.
Gotta love Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
Man.
Smoking Ali. Fell in that door.
There was a guy who, before he started fighting, couldn't talk as well as Tommy Hearns. Man, I'm telling you.
From the NBA yesterday, they announced the 50 greatest players ever in the NBA. Mostly old-timers. There are some current players on the list. For the Celtics, 13 former Celtics are on it. Ironically, no current Celtics on the team, although A.C. Earl was very close to making it.
Is Len Bias on it?
No,
How's that boy doing?
No, Jack. Len Bias is not on it.
He got a good future ahead of him.
No, he doesn't have any future ahead of him. Jesus Christ.
How about that dude with AIDS?
No, he's not on it either, Jack.
Give me some rubber gloves.
No.
Oh, it ain't what it used to be.
No, I know it's not. All right, here now, Media Watch, and today a richly deserved repudiation of a really stupid enterprise by the renowned veteran of broadcast journalism, Walter Cronkite.
Return with me now to Tuesday, September 3rd, 1996. A day like all days, filled with the events that alter and illuminate, and in this case, insult our lives. Yes, week one of the grand experiment is on the record. The shotgun wedding of Imus in the morning and MSNBC. Truly a marriage of inconvenience. Clearly, Sherry Rowlands wasn't the week's only whore, for we saw other individuals, all too willing to prostitute themselves for ill-considered, minimal, and surely fleeting gain. In a raw, reckless attempt to give his fledgling cable news enterprise a lowest common denominator kickstart, Andrew Lack, the heretofore respectable president of NBC News, joined hands with the nation's first jerk, the I-Man, said, "I do," and immediately laid down and waved his fanny in the air. Then, acting in concert with the ethically and grocery challenged David Foreman, NBC executive producer, engaged Imus in an unholy electronic menage a trois. Well, we've seen quite enough in the judgment of this old hoary, wizened, and withered watcher of woe. Yes, there's no way to spin this one. It's time to face facts, cut losses, fold tents, and say, never again. We wondered when rumors of the radio and television experiment first surfaced what possible audience appeal such an arrangement might be able to generate. Now we know. None. For what did week one bring us? Basically, two diminished late middle-aged men, Imus and the psychotically sycophantic McCord, either looking at each other, utterly lost, or looking at newspapers in an excruciatingly painful effort to appear as though they were unaware of the camera's presence and deep in reflection on the day's events. Well, just pitiful. And this exercise, interspersed by the contemptibly inappropriate and unsought comments of the I-Man's producer, Bernard McGurk, employing terminal diseases and genital jokes in floundering attempts at humor, goaded on by the hyena-like reflex cackling of engineer Lou Rufino. Oh, to be sure, this cabal of miscreants sought to bring some degree of legitimacy to the undertaking by adding in-studio guests to the initial week's schedule. But who? Mike Wallace, who has one foot in the grave prepared for me, for God's sake. And during a period when headlines swirled around Dick Morris, booked the wrong political strategist, the hyper-bland Ed Rollins, who's never been leashed to anybody, so far as we can tell, with the possible exception of the governor of New Jersey, Christy Whitman. Although it's up in the air who would more appropriately play the dog's role in that relationship. And finally, Deborah Norval, a bright, comely young woman who nevertheless isn't even on somebody's D-list of guests somewhere. Well, no, the only thing to say in conclusion, in the view of this revered, feared, on occasion reared old reporter, is that the eye man's neck isn't the only thing here that conjures up the image of a turkey. Mr. Lack, Mr. Borman, from one journalist to another, please stop the madness. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
You don't like my jacket, Bernard?
You become a caricature of yourself.
Well, you really,
It's just
Bernard is
ridiculous.
absolutely right.
It's New York City, and you're walking around with Jerry Spence jackets and cowboy hats.
Cowboys, and particularly with a cowboy hat.
my wife tells me I look adorable.
You guys going line dancing tonight, dude?
See, that's where you don't get it, Bernie. It's not about building a bridge to the future. It's about building a tribe. And you're supposed to be part of...
Oh, God almighty. You're smoking those
You
mushrooms
need
well.
some buckskin on that bald head. That's what
Honey,
you
you
need.
leave Bernie alone.
You know what?
Feathers hanging off
You leave
of it.
Bernie alone.
You do a pretty good Jennifer Capriati impression. Where'd you learn how to do that?
It was fun.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Honey,
Yeah.
why don't you tell them about the John Smith Pocahontas little game we play?
Little Indian game, eh? That's cute.
We don't play any kind of
I'm
thing.
smoking a little peace pipe.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Effort to recover political viability and some degree of popular appeal. Billionaire industrialist H. Ross Perot. New year, new Perot, Amos. Time to wipe the slate clean and hose out the barn. Paint the stool, grab a fresh teat, and make Bossy say, oh, baby. Didn't have a lot of success in 95. Perot was pretty much off the charts.
Yeah.
Tried to launch my third party. Folks seemed to say, hey, Ross, launch your pecker. You saw the polls. Very rude. So how do we turn it around, get back on the scope, and become a player? Had to turn introspective, Amos. I got right down under my own hood, took a look around, and couldn't see a doggone thing. You know why?
No.
Had my head up my Unfortunately, that's what happens when you bend over to get under your own hood. Gotta be damn plastic, man, to do it. You want to see?
No.
So while I was down there, head up at Amos, made me some New Year's resolutions that are going to put Perot back in the Beltway passing lane. You want to hear them?
No.
First off, I'm vowing never again in my lifetime of yours to go on Larry King Live.
Good.
Boy got caught in the undertow of his own ego and drowned, and he ain't taking me down with him. Second, I resolved to help O.J. find out who really did it. Been talking to him about it. Black man, 5'10", 6 foot or so, couple 100 pounds. He's leaning towards Stevie Wonder. Makes sense to me. And finally, Amos, regardless of what happens for me politically, I'm getting older, and it's time for me to satisfy a couple of dreams I've had for a long time.
Like a humanitarian effort? or
Have
something?
Madonna's baby and become a blues singer. One of them just dropped in my lap right before y'all went on vacation. Madonna, advertising for a fella to impregnate her?
Right.
I'm your man. Ain't short in every category, Amos. Got some heavy equipment ready to install it. Make a baby that's a billionaire who likes Donna Shalala and Tommy Tune. And then, Amos, I'm going to sing the blues.
No.
Have 27 teeth pulled, get a heroin Jones going, and sing stuff like this. You want to hear?
No, I do not want to hear it.
I call it a billionaire's blues. Goes like this.
No.
Well, I got $1 billion, but that ain't all the news. When you got $1 billion, you can afford to pay your dues. Right there's my basic maxim for 96, Amos. If you're poor, get some money and stop whining because you're depressing everybody. That's Perot's contract with America, Amos. Sign right there under the up yours. And much obliged for having me on your show.
I woke up this morning, my jacuzzi wouldn't work. Then the butler quit on me, man. Can you believe it? Jerk. Must have been my artistic temper when he couldn't take. How come nobody wants to give me a break? I got the blues right now. Mean and low. I'm as low as the heels of my alligator shoes. You should know how it feels to have these millionaire blues. Millionaire blues.
Imus in the morning.
How
which is now complete. Good morning. This is Mike Breen. Not the most prolific and not the funniest cast member of the Imus in the Morning show. That, of course, is Rob Bartlett. NFL teams have made all
There's a big story in yesterday's Newsday in which Rob suggests. Now, here's the problem with having a cast, as we do on the Imus in the Morning program, of about altogether around 10 people. Rob describes himself as the most prolific and funniest cast member of the Imus in the Morning show, as well as the most successful comic ever to come out of Farmingdale High School. Jerry Seinfeld went to neighboring Massapequa High, by the way. Well, maybe that's William Falk, the guy who wrote this article. Maybe he's describing Rob as that.
Yeah, but where did he get the idea?
Well, he got the idea from Rob. This is the single biggest suck-up piece. This is an embarrassing piece, and I'm firing Rob this morning.
Does the guy listen?
Doesn't bother me. Yeah, I'm having Rob. When Rob comes in this morning, just tell him he's fired. In fact, you tell him, okay, Bernard?
10-4.
Okay. Rob will be happy to.
Don't let him come back to the office either. Meet him at the door.
And it's got to, exactly. Don't even meet him up in the studio cafe because he always stops by there to see what they're serving for lunch.
Yeah.
Right. Have a security guard escort him down to get his stuff out.
Exactly. Have a security guard escort him down to get his stuff in his files and get it out. No, let's confiscate the stuff in his files.
That's it. I was going to say, why are you going to let him in the building?
No, we're not even going to let him in the building.
Well, now that he's gone, he'll be the most prolific and funniest person on the show.
That would be Larry Kenny.
That would be Larry Kenny,
Yeah, fine.
Hey, man.
So anyway.
No jealousy.
Well, Rob has something to fall back on. He'll be headlining at the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will turn into a... maybe he can go over and work with Scott and Todd.
He's going to spend more time with his family like he says he wants to do.
Sure.
Exactly. He has his 3 kids. Maybe he can spend time with them. That's right. As he claims he wants to do.
And didn't spend any time talking about us in that article.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
So.
More free time to sit down and watch the Comedy Channel and take notes.
Hey, man! Hey, man!
Hey, it's Howard.
NFL.
Hey, it's Howard. Amos. You suck, Imus.
It's 23 after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program.
What's up with the crickets, Imus? You washed up.
NFL.
Don't be in a phone booth.
NFL teams have made all their selections now. And as you sure, the New York Jets selected a real dandy, flashy wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson. The talented Johnson said it was important that he was picked by a team that resides in a city.
I'm from a big city in Los Angeles, whether it's Chicago or just a city in general, I think is a good fit for me.
Keyshawn obviously unaware all NFL teams now play in cities. But the Jets, of course, ecstatic. Here's Coach Rich Kotite on Keyshawn's size.
As a big man, he can do all the things a little man can do.
Why didn't you pick a little man then?
Yeah. We'll not to feed him as much.
Get two little men.
Exactly.
Come on.
What a moron. Why not pick a big man because he can do all the things the little guy can do.
Well, who wrote that for you, Mike? Rob?
Well, here now the funniest and most prolific member of the Imus in the Morning program.
Stop, let me grab my sides. Go ahead, boss.
Grab my sides going in, so I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Rob Bartlett. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, man.
Yeah, how you doing, Howard? Hey, Bernard, there's some good news, man.
What is it?
Rogain's over the counter now.
That's the kind of stuff you get. You don't get that anywhere else, baby.
You just keep it right where it is. How about this, Milwaukee?
Oh, God.
So this is a disgraceful piece.
Why is it disgraceful?
Well, because you did suck up to me a lot, but
Well, wasn't that the agenda?
I guess, yeah. Man, you all excited about Vegas?
Very excited, very pumped.
Do you have the New York Times there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, D9,
Yeah.
a big article on the I-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's D9. That's way back in the paper, isn't it?
It's in the business.
Oh, it's back in the paper.
Yeah, it's in the business section of the New York Times, the most widely circulated paper in America, unlike Newsday, which you can't give away.
Well, it's my weekly reader of Long Island.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, well.
Oh, God.
Weekly reader.
So So, Rob,
Yeah.
here's your assignment today.
Go ahead.
You buy a copy of the New York Times.
Yeah.
You turn to page D9.
Yeah.
You memorize this article.
Okay.
And there'll be a test when you get to work today.
Okay.
Get off the phone.
Oh, I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
What shoe store is Bernie doing tomorrow?
Oh.
I get it.
Oh. Which shoe store is Bernie doing? Oh, really?
Actually, it's a tire store on Saturday. Quite honestly.
Hey, New York, call waiting. The Imus channel is now open.
Hi, it's Imus standing by to share my secret life with you.
That's right. Now you can reach out and touch a figure of legend, Radio Hall of Famer Don Imus. Have you made contact yet? What are you waiting for? Don Imus is ready to pick up the Imus in the Morning phone line hotline. 4.5 hours, 5 days a week on the radio won't satisfy the inner Imus fan. So now he's making himself available in person and in private to satiate those cravings for
More Imus, more Imus, more Imus, more Imus.
Sure, radio's great, but now talk to the man one-on-one.
Hey, it's Imus. Are you little peaches fuzzy, huh? Tell me Imus wants to know, baby. Oh, I see. What that is, it's slippery. Is your big old sweet potato slippery, baby? Tell me about the big old tuba you got.
How intimate can you get? Or need a good laugh at your next party? Call Imus. Put him on the speakerphone. Tell him to say regularly or Nachman and break out the beer.
Regularly. Regular. Napkin. Knock.
Ha, ha, ha. What a drooling fool. And it's all available on the Imus in the Morning phone line hotline. But wait, what about sex, you say? Imus has no sex life, but he can dream, can't he?
Have you ever wondered what Dean Rusk would look like whaling on Olympia Dukakis, turtle style, in an igloo? I have, and I'll tell you. Give me a call. Da.
It's hot. It's steaming. It's your open channel to Imus. 24 hours a day. To the man who never sleeps at 1-900-BOREDOM. 1-900-BOREDOM. He's made his friend's eyes glaze over. Now it's your turn. Call now. Kids, get mom and dad's permission before dialing or poison their food. Either way, you're a winner. $50 first minute, $25 each minute thereafter. The Imus phone line hotline is a service of Somonex Deep Sleep Aids. Busy signal, Imus is also available at 1-900-COMA. Call now.
Speaking of that, whatever happened to all those great Jewish blues singers from the 60s, huh? Remember Roomful of Jews? The Jews Project? The Jews Magoos? The Moody Jews? Little Shlomo and the Rabbis of Soul? I woke up yesterday. I didn't know what to do. I lost my yarmulke, now I can go to shul.
Imus in the morning.
It can take years for...
And I can't tell you how much I hate you, Bernard.
This is really a stretch.
You were funny this morning, I-Man.
She should win a Grammy for all of that stuff. An Oscar.
What's my inspiration for this scene?
Not a lot.
Yeah, not too much.
I don't have much to work
You're
with.
really gonna act.
I hate you, bastard. Sorry. So Theater 22 is on West 22nd Street, and I...
It's so big.
You're a disgusting pig.
She's a regular Greta Garbo. Come here, you hunk.
For reservations. 212-243-2805. I don't know if there are any tickets available. It's a very small theater. Very small.
Yes.
So 50, 60 seats, something like that. So that's counting the things. So what are we going to do for 8 months? I mean...
Maybe Marcus Allen will kill somebody.
You know... Jesus. Why did we... I mean, what prompts these things?
It took up a good year for us.
Oh, Jesus, God. Jeez. out of the blue. Boom! Just out of nowhere.
When are these Marcus Allen trial going to start, man?
I'll get your response on a program.
Then we'll talk about, Bob Dole and Bill Clinton.
Yeah, just on and on.
Well, that's just pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
And it's all been ruined.
There's no drama left. It's all of that.
Pat Buchanan couldn't have tempered his remarks enough to get a few more votes.
Mm-hmm.
To be viable here.
Legitimate, absolutely. But
now the little jugular Martian, Ross Perot, is such a joke that's pointless.
Oh, get away.
I mean, it's just, well, the whole thing is it's just not shaping up to be any fun at all. And have we already agreed to go out for the Republican convention in San Diego?
That appears to be the case, yeah.
I'd like to go to Kogo anyway, because it's a powerful affiliate.
Well, then it's a good time to go on that basis alone, and
it's only about 100 degrees in San Diego. August.
There's air conditioning on.
You already look like you're melting. That's the difference.
Jesus. I just can't hate him any more than I do. We're now just down the road from Ted and Jane's place, somewhere in the great state of Montana. Rush Limbaugh.
Endless tracts of pristine, unspoiled wilderness, vast expanses of infinite azure sky. Ah, behold the stunning spectacle. I'm not big on the conservation of natural resources, endangered species, or any of those other eco-Nazi environmental issues. If a spotted owl loses its life when a tree is cut down, better him than me. That's pure Darwin at work. But I must admit that after experiencing the natural beauty and wonder known as Montana, I am duly humbled and impressed. Your friends at the Montana Board of Tourism want you to know that their state isn't just a refuge for paramilitary malcontents or homicidal hermits. It's a vacation wonderland. America the way it ought to be. Wide open spaces, both on the ground and in between the ears of some of its more than 870,000 member population. It's big sky country. Over 147,000 square miles of purple mountain majesties and fruited plains. So when you consider that the odd bad bomber and militia loon only inhabit a mere 10 by 12 shack or cabin trailer, there's plenty of room left for you. And room there is. About half the state is grassland. Not very good cover, mind you, but in the event of a violent overthrow of the existing government, there are more than 22 million acres of forest land, which means there are plenty of trees to hide behind. The economy is dominated by agriculture, with livestock representing about half the state income. So if you too decide to drop out of society and live like a mountain man, not only is there food in abundance, but during those long periods of soundless solitude, your physical needs can be attended to as well. With a peak elevation of 12,799 feet, it's plain to see why so many free men experience a Rocky Mountain high. It's a place that can be the muse that inspires a writer to come up with 35,000 words of prose. Somewhere one can escape to and feel hidden. I bet that's one of the main reasons Montana is known as the Treasure State. The Western Meadowlark, the Ponderosa Pine, the Custer Battlefield, all this and the fact that the state has consistently voted Republican in presidential elections since 1968. So don't buy into all the bad press they've received of late. Visit the paradise where the occasional reactionary recluse only helps to keep the wild in wildlife. Come to Montana, where a man can really make a stand. Or, for that matter, a stand-off.
This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me.
This land is my land. It isn't your land. It's not Jamaica, Haiti, or Pakistan. I suggest you all go home to your motherland. 'Cause this land belongs to only me. As I was walking down by unemployment, heard towel heads talking of overthrowing our government. I'm declaring open season on all illegal immigrants. 'Cause this land's overrun by refugees.
This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true
all the faggots that are being outed, feminazis and wetbacks. It's getting crowded. Too many Negroes on welfare. Bubba doesn't think about it. But this land's being hosed by Hillary. As I went walking, I saw signs in Spanish. Why can't they learn English? I wish they'd vanish. They can take the Jews with them, and a few thousand Amish. Till this land is free of minorities. This land's not your land. This land is my land. 'Cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me. There's been an invasion of the non-Caucasian, boatloads of Asian, and the black persuasion. Prevent the white man's erosion and save our nation. This land can thrive on bigotry. This land's not your land. This land is my land. 'Cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me.
Former Senator Barry Goldwater, San Francisco, 1964.
Now, I don't seek the presidency to strip this nation of its defenses or to abandon the cause of freedom around the world. I seek the presidency so that this nation will be strong enough to deter war and determined enough to encourage freedom. I ask your help and the help of all Americans so that an American president can tell Nikita Khrushchev, you are wrong. Our children will not live under communism. Your children will live under freedom.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Imus in the morning.
It's on now. New York Lotto numbers, and here over from the Archdiocese, John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God bless.
Well, fine.
The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
I like it when you start right in and move right
The
through.
daily number.
All right.
Beautiful.
389.
389.
When we write it down.
Got it.
Well, first it was Amy Fisher, Amos Namard.
Pardon me?
First it was Amy Fisher.
First it was Amy Fisher.
Soon it'll be Sol Wackler.
Right.
But for now, did you hear?
No.
Playwright Neil Simon bought the rights to the Uncle Rosenbaum story.
Well, all right.
He'd call it Fiddler on the Roof meets Five Guys Named Moby Jesus. The take-down numbers is as follows. McCord, did you see Malcolm X yet?
No, I haven't had enough.
When hell freezes over, right, Joss? Jesus, you blue-eyed devil, you. McCord will be out coon hunting this week anyway, Jesus, you know what I mean? The win 4 number. 3723.
Let me just stop a second here. Let's just stop a second.
Thank you, man.
We have these meetings in the office, and I think I cover everything. I think I cover... I was talking to somebody about this last night. I said, I cover everything that I can possibly think of with it. I said, we're not going to stick anything in something. We're not going to have fluids coming out of anything. We're not going to call anybody lesbians or queers, or we're not going to... And you can't cover it all.
Shut up, you droopy skin sculptor.
Please continue, Cardinal O'Connor.
Well, you'll be spending Thanksgiving, Amos Namard.
I'll be in Southport.
Well, I tell you what, if you get up near the cathedral, stay the hell away. I'll have you arrested, Jesus. We do have a little limerick, Amos Namard. A little limerick prayer. Giving thanks with the eye, man.
Okay.
Gather on the radio, boys and girls. We'll call this Thanksgiving in Southport. Or Home Alone again. There we go.
There we go.
Shut up. 3 million a year, a limo for rolls. What more could he want? Except a face without holes. Turkey and stuffing, loved ones in the house. And none of that there. They all hate this louse. But the eye man don't care, on pasta he'll be picking. And after the football game, he'll just choke his chicken. So Eileen, Breen and Chuck, Lou with the red hair, repeat after me. Join me in prayer. Oh Lord, we give much thanks on this Thanksgiving.
Oh Lord, we give much thanks on this Thanksgiving.
Except for the fact that the I-Man is living. Man ahead.
Except for the fact that the I-Man is living.
So if some paid lover should visit this loner,
So if some paid lover should visit this loner,
let's hope the I-Man suffocates on his boner. Amen. God bless us and save us. Have a lovely Thanksgiving, the whole lot of you. The Big Ten numbers is as follows.
Oh, we don't want to pick 10 numbers. All right, well, go ahead. What are
The
they?
Big Ten numbers is as follows. 4, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18, 22, 25, 31, 35, 36, 38, 41, 43, 53, 59, 62, 63, 68, 80.
Fine. Thank you very much, Cardinal O'Connor. All right.
Which does them belong and why? Which does them belong and why?
Which does them belong and why?
A, Batman.
Batman.
B, Superman.
Superman.
C, the I-Man. Which does them belong and why?
Well, I would think the I-Man.
Wrong, you two-legged colts, are you? Well, all three peaked in the 60s. And still thought they looked good in tights in the 90s. The answer is A. Batman doesn't belong because unlike the other two, the bulge in Batman's tights was natural, be Jesus. Right ahead. Where belong you, schmuck you?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Imus in the morning.
Hello, Mother. Copyright 1997, CBS Radio. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. Whoop-de-doo.
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled this station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Happy Thanksgiving at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman. 43 degrees in Central Park, and that's what's happening. This is Rich Ackerman with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
Sports Radio 66,
Well, good morning to you, and how you be at 10:05 and 10 seconds on this Thanksgiving Day morning on the Fan New York City. Steve Summers here and you there. Dove Kramer, the kosher kid, and Erica Hershkowitz on the other side of the glass. 718-937-6666. As we begin on this Thursday of Thanksgiving Day schmooze until St. John's and American University in Puerto Rico at 11:35 on the Fan New York.
Shield Boat Association.
Good morning.
What's the matter?
On your Kennedy parody, you had that drowning sound blurb, and I think that's connected with a tragedy, and I don't think that particular thing should be attached. It says you may not do that with other tragedies.
Are you in your car?
Yes.
Okay, be careful. You are everything vile and sickening.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
Why would you humiliate the man?
I didn't
By doing exactly what he was complaining about. Man, I don't know. Is he still there? Hello?
Charles, are you there?
Yes, I am,
Could
sir.
you please blow his brains out?
Absolutely.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Of artificial turf and zone blitzes, it's because the field is too small. What? Excuse me? What happened? The players have outgrown the size of the field. The field is the same size as it was 100 years ago. Please don't start this one. Yeah. Well, now I want to know what it's for. All right, go ahead. When guys were 5'6", 150. Yeah. Now guys are 6'7", 300. Yeah. They're playing on the same size field. It's too small. There's no room to get out of the way. It's become a collision course. It's 100 yards. It's not the length, it's the width. It's 53 yards wide or something. 53 1/3, correct.
Well, arena football is 85 yards wide. Canadian football is 65 yards wide. National Football League's only 53 1/3. It's too small.
We can't change it.
Sure we can.
Well, because then all the records would be out the window.
Well, they changed the length of the goalpost.
We can't have that.
Width.
Nope. No, we can't have that.
We like broken legs.
We have to shrink the players.
10 Texas Tech athletes have been accused of making over 300 unauthorized long-distance phone calls from 1993 to 1997. According to the Houston Chronicle, linebacker Eric Butler and defensive back Tony Darden were the worst offenders, and both players have been declared ineligible for tomorrow's game.
Who would they call in? We don't know.
I don't know.
DNC?
Well,
yeah, the Democratic National Committee, what they calling them?
The two players, upon hearing the news, immediately called long distance to NCAA headquarters in Indianapolis to complain. And the prediction of Dallas sports writer Blackie Sherrod, the Cowboys will go 13-3.
Wow.
13 arrests and 3 convictions. Imus in the Morning Sports. This is Warner Wolf.
Well, I gotta get drunk and I sure do dread it, 'cause I know just what I'm gonna do. Start spending my money, calling everybody honey, and wind up singing the blues. I spend my whole paycheck on some old wreck, and brother, I can name you a few. Well, I gotta get drunk and I sure do dread it, 'cause I know just what I'm gonna do. Well, I gotta get drunk, Lord, I can't stay sober. There's a lot of good people in town. They love to hear me holler, see me spend my dollars. I wouldn't think of letting them down. Well, there's a lot of good doctors keep telling me, George, you better start slowing it down. But there's more old drunks than they are old doctors, so I guess we better have another round. Imus in the morning.
Time now for the Imus Book of the Week. This week, from Random House. This week, A Country of Strangers, Blacks and Whites in America. It's a new book from Pulitzer Prize-winning author David K. Shipler.
Take these chains from my heart and set me free. You've grown cold and no longer care for me. All my faith in you is gone, but the heartaches linger on. Take these chains from my heart and set me free. Imus in the morning.
Know why men don't use electric?
But I love to hold you in my arms. No one can live without you do. The world let you for a long, long while. You know I love you, honey child. Imus in the morning.
23 after the hour, I'm Imus in the Morning. Here now from MSNBC's The Big Show, Keith Olbermann. Good morning, Mr. Olbermann.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
How did you happen to know don't tell us now because you're not eligible to win the contest.
No.
How would you happen to know the Alger Hiss of the Woodstock typewriter serial number?
That Sam Tannenhouse book was marvelous.
Oh, okay.
I read that last spring. It's a great one. But you're absolutely right about this story. It's one of the great historical dramas, really. And that's the only word for it.
Why don't we devote an entire Big Show to it?
Well, we plan to do this now.
Oh, yeah.
We are responsive to your needs, as you know. And also, he's going to be on the cover of Newsweek next week, I understand.
Who is?
Whitaker Chambers. Or maybe we can do a Time and Again series. We do like 93 Time and Again episodes of this.
Here's what we'd like you to do.
Yes, sir?
Shut up about ESPN. I mean to speak harshly to you because you know I like you, but
yeah, no,
I look at you as like almost one of our children who's kind of grown up and gone off into the world and has become successful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know that, to be fair, though, I sent that stuff in August.
Right.
And they printed it in December, and then everybody got heated up, or November.
So you were bitter then, you're not bitter now?
No, I'm bitter now. I just don't, nobody will talk to me about it.
Keith Olbermann and The Big Show will be on MSNBC tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time and Pacific Time. He's very good. So it's 25 after the hour.
Now, people, Imus in the Morning, 2020 Sports with Mark Breen.
This could be the Eagles' season right here. You know what happened in Dallas. You know what happened in Baltimore. Will it happen again, or will they be rejoicing throughout the Delaware Valley? The ball will be spotted at the 21. Here is the game right
Philadelphia. Good morning. Mike Brainwood Sports. Merrill Reese, the call, WISB. Eagles outlast the Bengals 44-42. Heartbreaking loss for the 4-9 Bengals. Coach Bruce Conslett not mad at his team, though.
We played our ass off. What more do you want?
I want you to win. That's what we want, Coach. We want you to win.
That's that little bit more.
Let's not have Boomer go out and throw 9 touchdown passes and then not get it done.
What more do you want?
51-year-old Boomer Esiason
What more do you want?
is out there getting it done. I mean, Boomer did everything he possibly could do, didn't he?
He sure did.
I mean, you can't come up bigger than Boomer came up. And what we want, Coach, and I just try to understand this, we're going to speak very slowly, win. That's what more you can do. What happened to the Redskins, by the way?
Oh, man, that is perhaps the worst loss of the day. St. Louis beat them. Dick Vermeil, the head coach there. They end their 8-game losing streak.
Wow.
They beat them 23-20. Vermeil says...
At the new Jack Kent Cook Stadium.
In Washington.
Yeah, with everybody with their Newfoundlands. Yeah, man, come on.
Vermeil says despite the 8-game losing streak, he never gave up on his team.
I have a passion for this damn game. And I have a compassion for the people that coach it and the people...
I mean, can you imagine having a... Not just play for him, talk to him.
He was about to weep.
Listen to him every day.
Oh, God.
A passion for this damn game. And I love it.
That's exactly it.
I'm going to continue to play it.
It is 27 after the hour. And how about...
Yes, sissy boy football. Program, our gal, Reverend Al.
Although Minister Louis Farrakhan has downplayed his visit with Saddam Hussein as just kicking back Muslim style, he has succeeded in putting yet another roadblock in our continuing struggle for equality. Ain't nobody gonna praise another million-man march when there are suspicions we hiding biological weapons in our bean pies. However, he is not the greatest threat to the black man's present situation. That dubious distinction belonged to the cinematic wonderkid Steven Spielberg in his shamefully exploitive attempt to purge his guilt and gild his purse with yet another of his tedious, socially relevant films. He not happy making his billions off Indiana Jones. He want to follow in the footsteps of Leroy Jones and make a movie about his slave ship, because he got to make amends. Well, wait just one in Mamu Amiri Baraka minute. What the hell does Spielberg got to make amends for, other than the fact that his color purple introduced us to that insufferable Whoopi Goldberg? Why, when, according to Jonathan Alter's verified Newsweek article, The Long Shadow of Slavery, even African-American youths are ambivalent about the issue, is a middle-aged Jew obsessing over events that transpired over 130 years ago. What is it with the white man's preoccupation with history? I face persecution in the court of law for defamation charges that stem from an unfortunate incident with a white man that occurred back in the 1980s, while media icon Don Imus has dedicated his daily program to the Whittaker Chambers Alger Hiss controversy 40 years after the fact. I know Hollywood didn't allow Spike Lee to film his version of the story because the grosses to do the right thing, school days, and get on the bus put together ain't half as much money as Spielberg spent on catering for Jurassic Park. But while Schindler's List may have gone a long way towards inspiring the German apology for the Holocaust, it didn't do anything to improve the image of the Jews. In fact, last time I checked, that was the only thing the majority of you white people agree with Minister Farrakhan about. But unless you're going to come up with some compensation like you did for them Japanese internment victims, some lame expression of regret ain't going to do nothing. However, should it be decided that a formal apology be acceptable in lieu of financial reparation, let me be the first to say to Stephen Begonis, man, I am really, really sorry. So how about you drop this suit against me, okay, money?
Hi, gal, Reverend Al here in the Action Program. 12 minutes till the hour. The Twana Brawley trial. What's not Twana Brawley trial? Walter Cronkite.
We embark this evening on an excursion into the dark landscape of irrationality, inhabited by people, places, and things, dredged from the sub-basement of the psychotic mind. No, don't try to adjust your radio or television set. The outlandishly bizarre region we are entering is beyond our ability to alter, an area bereft of reason, deranged. Welcome to the mind of Andy Lack, newsboy. Or should we say, Andy Lack, Ninja Turtle. For Mr. Lack, the president of NBC's news division, appears to have been overdoing the ginseng and testosterone supplements. Recently, in an ego explosion that would have leveled Hiroshima, President Lack was heard to shriek, after an ad nauseum listing of his accomplishments, such as they are, I am America's news leader. Lou Grant, I believe, used to hear much the same assertion from Ted Baxter. Yes, it's not only fools who rush in where angels fear to tread, so do megalomaniacs. Drunk with self-perceived power, intoxicated by self-imposed import, Lack lapsed into a self-indulgent fustian fusillade of ingratitude that mocked his underlings, embarrassed his peers, and ultimately left the emperor himself with no clothes. Jesus, what a gas bag. Euphoric, we're told, over the re-signing of Geraldo Rivera. Why, one is compelled to ask. And the expansion of his own duties to running prime time for CNBC cable, Mr. Lack self-detonated to the New York Times. I have been focused, said he. I now have this, thus, and so on. Every deal I have made. I have the vision. And, of course, the now celebrated, I am America's God of News. Bow before me. Avert your eyes. And whatever you do, don't touch me. If that's true, where, wonders this old, revered, cherished, medal-festooned chronicler of the events of history, does that leave Tom Brokaw, Dan Rather, the Canadian gal chaser fellow, Brune Arledge, Andrew Hayward? Where, if Lack is news god, does it leave me? Well, in an awkward, stumbling attempt to smooth over Lack's lack of grace, NBC News issued a statement worthy of the White House press office, assuring that, quote, Andy Lack takes great pride in the hard work of everybody at NBC News and feels terribly about glomming onto all the credit for himself. Right. The only thing lacking in that statement, it seems to me, is something about no controlling legal authority. Perhaps it is fear that fueled Mr. Lack's intemperance, as CBS, tilting ever more toward hard news, creeps up in the Nielsen's. As the Washington Post noted, surveying the ratings picture, hard news is good news. So is no news, Mr. Lack. Please shut up. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
We're talking with Tim Russett, who is the Washington Bureau Chief for NBC News and the host of Meet the Press.
Paula Jones, I have the solution.
All right.
You be the stand-in for Bill Clinton.
Yes.
The only problem would be when it came to the deposition with Deidre, and the judge asked her if you had any distinguishing characteristics.
Yeah.
What would she say?
I don't know. We'd have to ask her, I guess.
Your Honor, it's like a small, squishy little button.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
But Samir Sadawi, the paper's news editor, insists Al Hayat has a reputation for fairness.
We don't know who did it, or whoever did it is an enemy of the Arab world.
Shut up and drive. Close the partition, too.
In the morning.
I don't think we need that. It's not helpful.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Oh, man, this is great news.
It's about Marv Albert, Fred.
I don't have any problem with Marv.
No, they just said his name showed up in
They're just making these allegations, and they're trashing this poor guy with the allegations that may or may not be true, you know? That's the unfair part of this.
I understand that, but his name showed up in her book and his phone number.
Did mine?
Well, there was a page missing. Well, there was a page missing, Fred.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Good morning, Phil.
I wanted to just thank you for getting me to read again. Now, you stopped talking about what books you're reading. My kids don't believe I'm...
You want you to talk about more books? Jeez. Am I having a nightmare? Books? Books, shut up.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, through January 31st, 1998, Fujifilm is offering rebates from $5 to $30 in a...
Anew into the mire of political obscurity, America's once again fading populist reformer, billionaire H. Ross Perot.
Larry, thank you. How's the ticker, Larry? For goodness sake, don't go flatline on it, because if you die, I'm dead. Just like a fly sitting on a punch bowl turd with his wings tore off, you're the only thing keeping me afloat. You and that Amos feller in New York, if it weren't for y'all's two shows, I wouldn't be on nothing.
I am Imus, Mr. Perot. I am not Larry King.
And because you are who you say you are, you're finding out firsthand just what I've been going through for so damn long at the hands of them there news magazines, Amos.
You are a f***ing nut.
Thank you. I've been listening to you bitch about it. I couldn't agree with you more if I was a naked cheerleader with a mason jar of vodka. I was fine, just fine. Influential, had impact, high profile, the full Monty, till they stuck me on the cover of Newsweek magazine. Ever since that day, I couldn't get arrested in the state of Arkansas if I dropped my pants in front of the secretarial pool. Of course, neither could anyone else, now that I think about it. But anyway, you know what I mean, Amos.
Yeah.
Once Newsweek magazine catches up with the boys over at Time and starts giving you some ink, you might as well eat the old second old sandwich, because you're
Newsweek's got a cover about slavery, they think the reason the White House has got a Lincoln bedroom is because Abe is still there. Real world for Newsweek, they freed him. Jesus, Abe took a bullet at the play. They call the thing Newsweek. What the hell week are they referring to? April 14, 1865? Too bad Time don't run a sale on clues so the boys at Newsweek could run over there and buy a few. Maybe leave a couple left over for our Attorney General. There's a woman who'd argue that Johnny Versace was a victim of lead poisoning, Amos. Of course, when you're making an assessment of Janet Reno, you always got to remember that there was a time when one of her right-hand people was Webb Hubbell. Speaking of individuals who don't have a clue, has Andy Lack had any more Alexander Haig moments? Boy, they'll roll him out of that fancy NBC News president's office on a Hannibal Lecter handcart pretty soon, don't you figure? Blow hard. Oh, and before I go, let me ask you what's next for another of your NBC cronies. Tim Russert? I saw the gyrating frog in a frying pan victory routine he did on Jeopardy a little while back. Only one place for him to go now after that performance, Amos. But maybe two. Either standing next to a pair of barely sentient third-grade level hominoids clapping and going, big money, big money, big money on Wheel of Fortune, or hook up with that line of jigging flits on Riverdance. And you can mail that off to him for one of his lame meat-to-press minutes, Amos. Much obliged for having me on your show.
It is 29 minutes after the hour, and I am Imus Nov. Y'all call Fred out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 1-800-272-1957. Great stuff for Christmas from the Out of Body Express, everything from gift packs.
Connor, good morning.
Middle of the work week. Clue comes from the middle of a classic rocker. Listen up. This is WNEW-FM. I'm Dave. What's your name?
Len.
Len, do you think you know the tune?
I'm going to give it a shot, Dave. Stuck in the middle with you?
Stuck in the middle with you, Len says. What town you from, Len?
I'm from New Hyde Park.
Well, Len, you just named that tune. You did it. You did it. Stuck in the middle with you.
Great.
Now, for extra credit, what's the name of the group that does the song?
That's a tough one. I'm going to give it a long shot. Paul Simon?
No, it's Steelers Wheel.
Oof.
For more extra credit, what movie is the song featured prominently in?
I have no idea, Dave.
Reservoir Dogs. But you know what? The name of the game is Name That Tune, and you did do that, Len. So you get the Rock and Roll Morning Show sweatshirt, and you get the privilege of being the DJ and introducing the record for everybody.
Great.
Go ahead.
Stuck in the middle with you on WNEW 102.7 in New York.
Getting harder now for White House officials not to become too overconfident. Tom?
Thanks very much, Jim Miklashevsky tonight in New Jersey.
Come on, Lou. Was that necessary? What? Well, come on. I mean, Brokaw was great. Let me talk to you about the Crossword Club now. You're going to love this. These folks have been advertising for some time, a number of years, here in the program, and here's the deal. You know somebody who loves crossword puzzles? Here's a great holiday gift idea. 6 original and challenging puzzles delivered by mail every month for an entire year. These puzzles are created exclusively for the Crossword Club by the world's best constructors and are the same size and caliber as those in the Sunday New York Times. Each puzzle is individually printed on fine, heavy paper and edited by the legendary Mel Rosen. You go Mel. A large print edition is also available. Easy to order. Just $35 for an entire year. It's a great gift. Here's the number, 1-800-818-6222. The Crossword Puzzle Club of the Month situation. It's a great gift. Comes to you in an elegant gift box. They'll send a card right away, let these people know they'll be getting these puzzles, and then the puzzles will start coming at you in January. Here's the number again, 1-800-818-6222.
Imus!
All right. Now, you all heard about the green tea.
Yeah, I have.
And that green tea is good for you.
Tell me the story.
I'll tell you that now. It will make you feel good. It will put some lead in your pencil.
There you go.
It will tighten up your situation there, baby. Green tea. Don't taste like tea. Green tea. Who's been making this stuff for 100 years? Salada. Salada 100% green tea. You know, continuing in that ancient Oriental tradition, and don't y'all love that now? Now they're introducing these new taste sensations. Check this out. Apple and spice, green tea with an American flavor. Mandarin delight, Oriental flavor with a little hint of orange and spice. Smells as good as it tastes. God, it's great. And Earl Green, a variation of Earl Grey, but made with green tea. Salada, 100% Oriental green tea. Y'all pick it up at your supermarket.
I thought it would be hard to decide.
Whitaker Chambers usurps once again a legitimate...
Bumped by Whitaker Chambers and Alger Hiss.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're
The
dead.
Sam Tannenhouse hour continues.
Oh, jeez.
The only sports is scheduled.
I understand that, but we just ran out of time.
Knucklehead Tannenhouse wasn't scheduled.
Yes, he was. He was a scheduled guest.
No. Well, that's not a scheduled element of the
You
Imus in
know,
the morning
that's an
program.
interesting admission, and at least Brokaw is honest.
What?
That he grew up thinking, because of whatever, that without not having any idea what the evidence was, of thinking Alger Hiss was innocent, which a lot of people did, not based on the evidence. There are a number of people who think that the pumpkin, that Whitaker Chambers kept actual papers in the pumpkin for 10 years, which is, there was only microfilm in there for 1 day. What's wrong?
My head's going to explode.
No, but I just point
that's
out.
what's wrong.
Anyway, Warner's
I'm
going to be on in a little bit here. He's going to talk about...
I am going to die.
Eddie DeBartolo being indicted.
Stop.
There's a couple of sports stories that Players Association of the NBA is not going to stand behind this creep who tried to choke P.J. Carlesimo, and there'll be other stuff, so just hang on, Warner, all right?
Okay.
And I'm very sorry. I apologize. But
all right.
Brokaw just wouldn't shut up. That's what it was, right?
Yeah, it was Brokaw. That's right. Jesus! Stop it! Really, I beg of you, stop it!
Oh, fine. I just was glad to learn that it didn't make any difference. You know, you're right.
I'm scared.
No, okay, I'll stop.
How many, Lord?
All right, I'm all stop. Go. Have mercy. All right, here now, the Imus in the Morning program, Chubba Bubba with Chubby Thumping.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. How will they remember me? What is my legacy? The Vince Foster deal, the Mike Espy deal, the Sis Narrows deal, the Dick Morris deal, the debacle over national health care, in a hotel with Paula in my underwear. Oh, Billy boy, Billy boy, Billy boy. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. How will they remember me? What is my legacy? The Crooked Land deal, the Crooked Penis deal, the Charlie Tree deal, the Johnny Wang deal, missing bill of records found in the book room, booking overnights in the Lincoln bedroom. Don't cry for me, Janet Reno. Independent counsel, I get the Notting Hill deal, the Two McDougal deal, the saxophone deal, a legal loan deal, building a bridge to the 21st century, testifying and committing to perjury, the Vince Foster deal, the Mike Espy deal, the Sis Narrows deal, the Dick Morris deal, the debacle over national health care, in a hotel with Paula in my underwear, the Crooked Land deal, the Crooked Penis deal, the Charlie Tree deal, the Johnny Wang deal, missing bill and records found in the book room, booking overnights in the Lincoln bedroom, the Notting Hill deal, the Two McDougal deal, the saxophone deal, a legal loan deal, building a bridge to the 21st century, testifying and committing to perjury.
Bubba and Chubby Thumping here in the Imus Morning program, 17 of the hour.
We're talking with Bill Parcells.
No, we're not talking.
No, we're listening. We're listening to the head coach of the New York
The
Jets,
only
Bill
reason I
Parcells.
considered coming down there,
Yes, sir.
you know, is because I might look good next to you on Halloween week.
Ben, you're fired up this morning, aren't you, Coach?
I tell you, it's a shame what's happened to you in 5 years. To watch this disintegration. Don.
Yes, sir.
You're the Chicago Cubs of talk radio. And I hold you responsible. If you don't get this thing shaped up, you're going to be down on 42nd Street with a monkey on your shoulder.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
You know, the only thing left for you and McCord to endorse is denture cream. You know, or maybe, since you got that new wife I heard about,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
a little generic brand of vitamin B12 or something, huh? Might need that for your one night a month, huh? You got an appointment for February?
Oh, man. Coach
little rough, wasn't he?
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, isn't it about time you checked out Mohegan Sun?
Opal Fan Highway Patrol.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports. Here's Warner. Wolf.
Breen is gone. Warner's here. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I'm the Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Subaru Forester. Experience the beauty of all-wheel drive at your New York, New Jersey Subaru dealer. In a surprise to no one, the Miami Dolphins, who yesterday said ex-Rams running back Lawrence Phillips was only there for a physical with no guarantee, signed Phillips to a 2-year contract. The future is now.
Yeah.
It means Phillips will probably push out Dolphin running back Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Upon hearing the news, basketball's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said he was changing his name to Lawrence Phillips. Saints coach Mike Ditka has an eye for talent, signing wide receiver Alvin Harper, cut yesterday by the Redskins after catching a total of only 2 passes all year. Fitting right in with that Saints offense. Cowboys coach Barry Switzer, arrested last August at the Dallas airport, pleaded guilty yesterday to the gun charge and fined $3,500. Switzer also pleaded guilty to charges he was impersonating a coach. Say it isn't so. 49er owner Eddie DeBartolo Jr. has resigned amid reports he will be indicted by a federal grand jury along with former Louisiana Governor Edwin Edwards on gambling fraud charges.
You sure they have the right Eddie DeBartolo?
Must be the wrong guy.
Got to be the wrong guy. No, it couldn't be.
Or a misprint.
Not that Eddie DeBartolo.
No. Right, just because he's from Ohio. And
Young's really dead at all those shopping malls.
It's just a coincidence.
It's obviously. Idiotic. Go ahead, Warner.
Hooray for the NBA Players Association. Realizing they would be fighting a losing cause and facing public criticism, the Players Association has dumped the Warriors' Latrell Sprewell and decided not to appeal his $1 million 10-game suspension for attacking Warriors coach P.J. Carlesimo. Here is Sprewell's teammate Bimbo Cole's version of why the incident happened.
He had 2 guys that just didn't click together. And, with the frustration and everything, that it's just something that was probably going to happen before the season's over with, because, it was just frustration on Sprewell's part that, something that's been brewing for a month or so.
Bimbo Coles. After hearing the Players Association was not going to back him, Sprewell, who once threatened teammate Jerome Kersey with a 2x4, said, so what? I can always get a job with Jimmy Johnson. NBA last night, 20,000. This is the stuff. This is it. 20,000, including President Clinton, showed up in the new MCI opener in Washington. The Wizard beat Seattle 95-78. Seattle's Vin Baker talked about the president's visit to the locker room before the game.
I'd be lying if I didn't say, we were caught up in everything else with the president being here. He came to the locker room, so it threw us off right there.
Hide the pipe. That's it.
Man, come on.
Hey, remember yesterday's story? The Argentine soccer coach, he will allow his players to have sex with, remember that?
Sure.
With their wives during the World Cup in France, but not in the hotel where the Argentine team is staying. Well, the U.S. made it official yesterday, naming Steve Sampson as their new coach. Says Sampson, his players will be allowed to have sex with the Argentine players' wives at any hotel. College basketball last night. If you had Bethune-Cookman and 65 points,
oh my God,
you lost. Arkansas 108, Bethune-Cookman 42. Jeez. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
All right, here now, 27 after the hour. Mark from Milwaukee. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, man. I can't believe I'm actually on the phone talking to you again. I'm your biggest fan. I want to be just like you. I went out and I bought all those books on Whittaker Chambers, even though I find them really hard to read because there are so many big words and I don't have any lights because I live in my mother's basement. And they turned off all our electricity because I guess she hasn't paid the bill for a couple of months, at least not since her accident. That's what I'm calling it, an accident. That's what I've been telling all the nice people who've been investigating her disappearance. I know I should probably try to make some money to pay the bills myself, but I'm out on disability from the post office because they said that mentally I'm a little postage due. But I can tell you this, I'm smart enough to know why you would find Whittaker Chambers so fascinating. I can't understand why Chuck and Bertie and Lou and Brina Warner and everybody are giving you such a hard time for being so interested in somebody. I mean, some people just don't understand how you can be so totally consumed by a person. I mean, that between being just a fan and being completely fixated and infatuated with a person. You never camped out in front of his house and waited for Whittaker Chambers to come out, did you? Or sent him rambling 80-page letters that authorities would study as evidence of some kind of dangerous situation? I mean, I can understand why you'd be so interested in that Woodstock typewriter, because there are a whole lot of people who seem to be interested in my typewriter lately, because they suspect it's the one I used to write my manifesto.
Imus in the morning.
This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Subaru Forester. Experience the beauty of all-wheel drive at your New York, New Jersey Subaru dealer. Talk about an expensive punch. For the first time in the history of the NBA and maybe all professional sports, the contract of a player has been terminated in a non-drug-related incident for attacking a coach. Warriors' Latrell Sprewell is gone. He's out. The Warriors have terminated Sprewell's 4-year, $32 million contract.
He'll be signed again, won't he, before the end of the day?
I wouldn't bet on that.
Oh, really?
No, he's got baggage. I mean, after all, he attacked a coach.
Which we, by the way, support, but...
Right. And that's a big fraternity. That's a coaching fraternity.
It is.
You know, I'm gonna hire you after you attack one of my guys. I don't think that's an automatic.
Isn't PJ one of those guys who screams at the players?
Yes, he does.
Can't have that.
But a lot of the coaches do.
Yeah, well, we can't have that. We don't have to put up with that, do we, Bernard?
You just sound like the biggest jackass when you say
I
it.
do?
But they don't, of all people, to say that we can't have the coach screaming at the players.
Yeah.
I could be the next Latrell Sprewell or Lou or somebody here. Are you kidding me?
That's right.
It's unbelievable that you say that.
Well, yeah, but I don't scream at you as a matter of course. I only scream rarely anymore. When I'm either haven't had any sleep or you do something horrible to one of you.
So maybe PJ didn't have much sleep that night.
Yeah, but he screams at him all the time. I don't scream at him. Do I scream on a daily basis, Charles?
Yes.
On a daily basis?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't, you idiot! There we go.
Say no more.
I scream on a daily basis. Daily.
At some
hourly. Hourly.
Oh,
what do I scream?
And
basically, the recipients who get it the most are the two gentlemen in that room. Idiot. That's just ridiculous. Go ahead, Warner.
Yeah. Well, before the termination was announced last night, Sprewell gave his side of the incident.
I just couldn't take a lot of the verbal abuse that he has been, I guess, just giving all of the guys over the past month or so. It's not just myself. We have other players on the team that he has also verbally abused, and as well as other teams in the past.
I hear what you're saying, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but nobody else attacked the coach.
Well, no, because,
Because they're smart. That's why.
They're wussies.
Yeah, because they're
not animals.
Because they're not men.
Yeah, there you go. Listen to this.
Go ahead, Warner.
After hearing about the termination, Sprewell immediately changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Speaking of the Warriors, if you had Golden State in 27 last night, you lost.
Don't send Warner any more wine, by the way. He just greasy wine.
Cavaliers 95, Warriors 67. The Warriors scored only 10 points in the fourth quarter. Toronto lost again. They're now 1-16. After the game, Toronto coach Darryl Walker locked all the doors to his office. Well, here's what we need. Another bowl game. No less than 20 bowl games between now and January 1st. The latest, the University of Cincinnati, only 2-4 in their own conference, will play Utah State in the first Humanitarian Bowl in Boise, Idaho. Man, if you haven't been invited to a bowl game this year, you are really bad.
Don't they have a something.com bowl?
Yeah, there is.
There's an Intel.com bowl or something? It's just ridiculous. .com bowl. Huh?
That's right.
Oh, man. No, it's 29 after the hour, and I'm begging Warner to get this thing over with.
Okay. All right, let's scream at him.
Here comes the screaming, Dad.
Scream at him. I'm screaming at Warner. I'm warning you. Damn it. Come on.
National Hockey League. A standing room crowd of only 5,600 packed the 20,000-seat Greensboro Coliseum last night. The Hurricanes beat the Islanders 5-3. After the game, a Carolina fan was asked why he goes to the hockey game. Hockey? Who cares about hockey? I go for the hockey.
Man, I'm begging you.
You have to scream at him now.
Lock that door. I'm going to suspend you, Warner. What's the matter with you?
Sprewell on him.
Lock that door to the production studio. Don't let him back in here anymore.
Keep him out of the building.
Lock the station. Don't let him in the
Right,
station.
don't let him in the studio. And that thing ring cute?
watch the women. God. Almighty. Watch the women. That's like Pat O'Brien's Christmas. Remember that 12 Days of Christmas? And then O'Brien calls me yesterday after I get off the air, and he says, well, that was funny. He said, because it's taped late on the West Coast, and he's listening on KLAC in L.A., and he says, well, I thought it was funny. I said, Pat, it wasn't funny. It was embarrassing. Hello? Hello?
Oh, that's sad.
It was stupid. Oh, I thought you meant he called with an apology. He called to lobby me and insist that was amusing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Did you hear it, Warner, when he was going?
It's one thing if it's bad, but if it's long and bad. At least my stuff is short.
It's over quickly. Absolutely.
Voice of experience.
That's right. All right. Warner Wolf continues.
And if you tempt the eye man, expecting him to ignore Whitaker Chambers and Alger Hiss, you lose. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
Now, and here now on the Imus in the Morning program, Paul Harvey.
Hello, Americans. Stand by for news. And as always, the rest of the story. And today, citizens, a tip of the Harvey hat to a comrade. Nope, make that a compadre. The rest of the story of how a slight, misshapen lad of Latin heritage overcame circumstances and diminished skills to become Geraldo Rivera. Oh, you know him, don't you? Sure, whole darn country does. And I'll tell you who's about to get to know him a whole lot better. NBC. Did you read about it? Geraldo signing on over there? Here's a quick heads up for all my NBC pals. Out with Peacock, in with Jerk Chicken. H2. All too true, senors and senoritas. Mr. Rivera is hardly a shrinking violet. Did you hear him the other day on Don Imus's program? Same day Tom Brokaw was a guest. Might as well have dropped a mongoose in front of a sidewinder. That's Disney versus Katzenberg tension, fight man. There's so many people looking back over their shoulders at NBC. I'm trying to get the concession on rearview mirrors. And as Satchel Paige said, don't look back because some guy might be gaining on you, singing, I shot the sheriff, page 3. Or maybe, Mr. Brokaw, maybe, in this case, I shot the anchor. I mean, who would you like to be? Just think for a moment, how would you like to be this Keith Olbermann fellow? Well, you just get called up from AA ball to AAA, still minor leagues, but at least you're now affiliated with NBC. You get this big show, as it's called, in prime time on MSNBC. Getting by okay, you believe. At least you haven't totally stepped on your dick. Looking toward bigger and better things when, whammo, Geraldo Rivera calypsos onto the scene, and all you can see are the words Cable Boy engraved on your forehead with a wood-burning kit forever. Big show? No. How about Big Loser Show, page 4? Well, I suppose there'll be a lot of changes in store at the old Peacock Palace, don't you? NBC chimes on steel drums, that sort of thing. You know, the fundamental question here, Telemundo Maven, why Geraldo Rivera? A fellow who, if you're asking me, would be far better suited to anchoring, say, the dating game. You read his book, didn't you? A little kiss and tell about doing the nocturnal nacho nasty with everybody from, as God is my witness, the late Jake Javits, missus, to Bette Midler. There's a tale, eh? Rags to riches. Look out, bitches. That's fine. Well, Geraldo assures us he's behaving himself now. And good thing, because I have little trouble picturing him going that route again. You know, Willowbrook to Willow Bay. Well, it's going to make a lot of people uneasy, but Geraldo is the NBC future. And as a certain sorehead named Mike McCurry stated the other day, on an entirely different matter, get used to it. Oh, say, did you hear the other day after they hired Geraldo? The NBC satellite truck wouldn't start. Paul Harvey. Good day.
Please say hi to Vince Malaman, who's going to play Org.
With a blow-up rubber doll with an MSNBC hat on it. Her mouth doesn't open. Oh, come on, Fred. Jesus, God. You know what her name is? No, what is her name, Fred? Cokie.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the Morning.
From NBC Sports, Don Cricky. Good morning, Don.
What I'm calling about, though, Imus, at this season is something to help all the wonderful Imus in the Morning listeners around America. With the solicitors that come to the door so much.
Sure.
I hear that doorbell ring and you peek out the little peephole. You don't open the door.
No, of course not.
You see it's a solicitor selling a household product or religion or the end of the world or whatever.
Sure.
So you just keep the door closed, let it ring a second time, then you say, yes, I'm home. I'm always home.
Oh, Tannenhouse, Sam Tannenhouse, forgive me if I whine, man. But Tannenhouse, Sam Tannenhouse, you fascinate the eye, man. You can't believe how tedious is droning on about Alger Hiss. Sam Tannenhouse, call Random House, your next book's on consign, man. You know, Fats, after listening to you talk about Whittaker Chambers for so long, I actually find myself wishing he were still alive, just so I could have the satisfaction of killing him myself. What the hell is the deal with this Rupert Pumpkin-like obsession of yours with that fat commie homo from the 50s? Squeaky Frome wasn't this devoted to Charlie Manson. John Hinckley wasn't this infatuated with Jodie Foster. And you know, he had a thing for a book about a guy from the 50s, except his wasn't Whittaker Chambers, it was Holden Caulfield. Never in my life have I ever seen someone so fixated on something so lame. You're like one of those mouth-breathing internet geeks who show up at Star Trek conventions wearing those plastic pointy ears. Do you think anybody else gives a about what kind of typewriter Alger Hiss had? Or what the serial number was? The FBI didn't care that much about Ted Kaczynski's typewriter. And speaking of them, I would have thought, given his wardrobe choice, that the fat homo you'd really have the morbid fascination with would have been J. Edgar Hoover, considering your experience in the Marines with guys who like to wear high heels and a garter belt with their chiffon dress blues. But Whittaker Chambers taking Nixon back to the farm to show him what he had stuffed in a pumpkin, that's only interesting in that he wasn't trying to stuff his zucchini in Nixon's pumpkin. I've heard you raving about books before. The Amelia Earhart thing springs to mind. And although by the time you were done humping it, I couldn't have been happier her plane went down, at least I didn't feel like your enthusiasm was dangerous. But on this Tannenhouse deal, you're so far gone that if he just said the word, you'd chug a Dixie cup of Jim Jones-flavored Kool-Aid in a heartbeat. Wait a minute. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing after all. Now wait a minute. I'm a in the morning.
Testifying and committing the person.
You promised an hour ago that you were going to drop this, that there was one more telephone call and 2 questions to Sam Tannenhouse, and you were going to drop Whittaker Chambers, Alger Hiss.
I'm just reprising what it happened.
Don't reprise this. Don't reprise anything. You said you were going to drop it.
Okay.
Well, drop it then.
I haven't. I've got it.
You haven't. You obviously haven't dropped it. You're still waving the damn books around.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Do you understand? You have driven us crazy with this crap.
Yes,
we're sick of it.
Fine.
They're dead. Whittaker Chambers is dead. Alger Hiss is dead. Richard Nixon is dead. I wish I were dead. Stop it. For God's sake, stop!
Okay, fine. What?
Stop it!
Let me just say.
No!
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
No, I'm in.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports. If you had Ross Perot and 9% of the vote, you lost. Here's Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Subaru Forester. Experience the beauty of all-wheel drive at your New York, New Jersey Subaru dealer. Say so long to Latrell Sprewell.
Get out.
All right. So long. He's gone.
Yeah.
Immediately after last night's game, the Warriors terminated the $32 million 4-year contract of Sprewell. Here's Warriors general manager Gary St. Jean.
We conducted our investigation yesterday, and we note unprovoked multiple assaults and death threats. This conduct will not be tolerated by this franchise.
Well, that's right. I just don't think that you can have these coaches screaming at these players. And, I mean, it just goes on so long, I think you've got to put a stop to it. And so I'm solidly in Latrell's corner here. You're a fool. I am. You are a fool.
Let me ask you this.
Warner continues.
Suppose Carlissimo had choked Sprewell. How long would he have lasted?
Sure.
Gone, right on the spot.
That's it.
Period. Out.
Absolutely.
Double standard. Warriors now 1-14, lost to Cleveland by 28. They didn't exactly charge the basket last night. Went to the foul line only 7 times the entire game. Toronto lost again. They're 1-16. How about an elimination round robin between Toronto, 1-16.
Here we go.
Denver, 1-14. The Warriors, 1-14. And the Clippers, 2-14. The loser leaves the league right now. They leave. They're gone. Get them out. They're messing up the rest of the league.
Absolutely.
Who wants these teams? Nobody wants to see them.
Get 'em out.
The future is now.
Yeah, they're losers.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And Milwaukee Bucks forward Glenn Big Dog Robinson has been cited for disorderly conduct.
Not Big Dog.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
That's right.
Not that Big Dog.
That Big Dog. After illegally parking his car and being ticketed outside a Milwaukee nightclub. According to the police report, Robinson, after using abusive language and moving his car, refused to identify himself, saying he was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
I took one look and I was fractured. I tried to walk but I was lame. I tried to talk but I just stuttered. Why, what's your name?
What's your name?
What's your name? What's your name?
Imus in the morning.
All right, this holiday season, avoid the crowd.
Traditional grassroots values still drive the company today. The people at Cooper take so much pride in their work that inside each tire, you'll find its builder's name. After my tour, I told Cooper I'd be honored to let them have me, Arnold Palmer, as their spokesman. I mean hard workers dedicated to being the best. Sounded like something I could really associate with. Cooper Tire. Drive on.
Visit Mavis Discount Tire with 22 New York area locations and Tire King of Staten Island, 190 Rhine Avenue, Staten Island, New York.
John F. Kennedy's signature and Marilyn Monroe's signature on incriminating documents. Are they real? Meet the man who insists they are. Sunday on 60 Minutes on CBS.
Roz Porter again with the Everyday People Show, brought to you by Toyota. Today's guest, cowboy author Steve Austin. Now, being a cowboy in today's world is a lot more than just a great pair of boots and jeans that are worn out in all the right places, huh, Steve?
Yep.
Right, but you're no ordinary cowboy. You are a rodeo champion.
Yep.
Uh-huh. This is a talk show, and you're here to tell us about your bestseller, Falling Off's the Easy Part, right?
Yep.
Sounds like a short book.
No.
Hold that thought, Steve. Time for a few words about the new Toyota Tacoma 4x2. This pickup can haul more base payload than any truck in its class, over 1,600 pounds. Work or play, it's got the power and rugged dependability to get the job done every day. Steve, we just have a few seconds left. Is there anything you'd like to say?
You know, Roz, I've owned a lot of trucks, and the best I've ever driven was a Tacoma 4x2.
Oh, yeah, the Steve,
In fact, it
you know what, Steve, we really got to run. It's been very informative, but we got to go. The Everyday People Show is brought to you by Toyota every day.
Too high.
I am Imus. It's 5 minutes past the hour, and we're in the midst of a very ugly few moments here behind the scenes on the Imus Morning program, but it's getting better, isn't it?
The mood is starting to lift. I can tell. The black cloud is coming up.
So we're going to do the national news, world events, all that. UN inspectors are back in Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
But here now, live on the phone from someplace in the country, Bill from White Plains. Where are you, Bill? I guess White Plains, huh?
That's right, I'm
Okay.
It's Bill from White Plains.
Right.
I don't know if you remember me.
No. I sort of did. Do you, Charles?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, great show today.
Thank you very much.
I love that guy from Baghdad. I like when you ask him a question and it takes him a couple of seconds to respond.
Yeah.
It's like talking to you. Hey, maybe you should do one of your shows from Baghdad.
Well?
You can take that I-jet over.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll get shot down on the way.
Why would you want that to happen, Bill?
Hey, something about that woman that had all those kids.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're not thinking of having kids, are you again?
Well, you never know.
That'd be horrible.
It would.
Although maybe you could have twin boys and they could grow up to be the Menendez brothers.
This is not a very pleasant phone call, Bill.
Hey, where's Mike Breen? He hasn't been on in about a year.
Well, I think he's on the road with the Knicks somewhere.
Did you fire him again?
No.
I mean, no offense to Warner, he does a good job, but you can tell, like on mornings like this, that he went out partying after that 11 o'clock news.
Well,
he got little white stuff under his nose?
I don't know. There's no
That's
white.
not sugar donuts, I'm telling you.
Suggesting that Warner Wolf is doing cocaine, I don't think is accurate here.
Oh, you guys are still in denial on that, huh? Okay, it's good with me.
Is that pretty much it, Bill?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you
But it's good talking to you, man.
Maybe you could have given me some sort of indication that it was over.
It's like I'm talking to you from Baghdad again.
Bill from White Plains here on the Imus in the Morning program. Right, thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Kind of like talking to Mark from Milwaukee, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little lower key, a little more laid back.
That's all.
Like Mike, it's just like Mark from Milwaukee has taken a Quaalude.
That's right, but still threatening.
Yeah, exactly. All right, it's time now for the national news and all that stuff. And with it, Charles McCoy. Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, man. 75 UN inspectors are back in Iraq. Not everybody's happy about it. Graffiti scribbled on the wall at the air base there, "Down America." Their arrival today ended a 3-week standoff that began when Iraq refused to let Americans on the team carry out inspections. Inspectors flew in from Bahrain on a chartered jet, and the head of the UN's monitoring office in Baghdad says they'll get back to work as soon as possible. That's expected to be tomorrow. But there are only 4 Americans now with the inspection team, significantly fewer than before.
Well, you're kidding.
No.
I thought we didn't make any concessions, or...
Well, you know how that goes, man.
No, I don't know how it goes. I know I saw Sandy Berger at the White House saying that there'd been no sort of conditions at all. We hadn't made any concessions, hadn't agreed to anything.
Right. And we're not going to be dictated to, particularly about the composition of the team.
And now what happened? Well, maybe some of the UN inspectors from the United States didn't feel well.
That could very well be.
Maybe they missed a truck or bus or whatever.
The camel, whatever it was.
Missed the camel, yeah.
But Chief Weapons Inspector Richard Butler is saying, man, that it's not because Iraq has demanded it be that way.
As we're going back to normal now, we'll pursue the normal rotation. The number of any given nationality will vary according to technical requirements, not because of their nationality.
Well, there you go. The inspectors have long suspected Iraq is hiding key elements of its chemical and biological warfare programs, and experts have said the standoff could have given Iraq enough time to mix new batches of the stuff. A UN Special Commission is meeting today to discuss how to proceed now with the weapons inspections program in Iraq.
I don't think it's funny. I was just giving Lou some words of encouragement on the intercom.
What were they?
I told him.
I want you to share them with the rest of us.
The last word rhymes with stick. I said, you little prick.
Oh, that's just lovely. That's just terrific.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lou. But anyway, go ahead.
There are new allegations in the Clinton fundraising flap-eye.
Yeah.
Were they in the business of selling cemetery plots at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia?
What?
In an upcoming article in Insight magazine, critics say the president traded plots at the cemetery in return for cash.
No.
From political donors.
No. That didn't happen.
Republican National Committee Chairman Jim Nicholson said he is shocked by the allegations and just hopes that they aren't accurate.
I mean, it is one of the most special places in America, and if it's been despoiled with some kind of a cheap political payback, it is appalling.
So notch up from the Lincoln bedroom, isn't it?
I guess so.
To one night to eternity.
Right, that's right. You're laid to rest or resting overnight, you're right.
Yeah.
So far, there have been a total of 62 waivers granted under the Clinton administration for civilians to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. And the chairman of the Senate Veterans Committee, Senator Arlen Specter, said he wants to know if all those waivers indeed were legal.
I've asked the president to respond as promptly as he can so we can take that into account. But if there's any substance at all, then a hearing would be required to find out what the facts are and to assure the public as to what is happening here.
Burial sites at Arlington are difficult to come by and usually require not only military service, but an honorable discharge and military decorations, that sort of thing.
And that you die.
And that you die. That's a requirement.
That would be a requirement.
You're right. There may be some big trouble in store for a high school student in Texas. Secret Service agents in Dallas have launched an investigation into a student at Everend High School in Fort Worth. Came to class with a list of 5 ways to kill a president. The student claims he got the detailed list off the internet and was simply showing it around to fellow students at school. A Secret Service spokesperson not amused and say they are taking this quite seriously, name and age of the student being withheld because of his juvenile status. And in Detroit, an 11-year-old girl and a 13-year-old boy are under investigation for having had sex in a middle school classroom. Police say other students were present when the two engaged in oral sex in the 8th grade English class last week. The 6th grade girl told police she was forced into the sex act. The boy said no, she agreed that it was consensual. It's not clear whether the teacher was in the room or out in the hallway at the time that this was occurring.
What, to get a camera?
That will be fine. And there is a lot more. Big Associated Press interview for an iFave.
Yeah.
There's a lot more he wants to do before he calls it quits. The he is music legend Delbert McClinton.
Yeah.
Says although he's had a satisfying career, he still, among other things, he still wants to cut an album of classic songs and do so with a full Philharmonic orchestra.
I want to do an album of legit songs. I mean, songs like, you know, with an orchestra. Songs like Candy, I call my baby Candy.
No, please don't sing, Delbert. Just a cappella.
He wants to sing those, some of the standards, man.
I understand that. I'm going to have a talk with Delbert.
Delbert says he never wanted to limit himself to just performing one type of music. Wants to be known as a vocalist who can sing anything, blues, country, whatever.
Sure.
He also says he has a loyal legion of fans that always turn out for his performances.
I've got a legion of fans, God bless them, that would take a bullet for me. I've been out there a long time doing this, and in the last few years, I've noticed so many. I've got people at my shows from in their 80s to people bringing their preteen children, telling me my kids know all the words to your songs.
Delbert says there's just so much music available out there to enjoy that he wants to please everybody.
Is that Craig who wrote that lead?
Yeah.
Would you tell Craig?
Well, now wait a minute.
What?
We just simply wanted to emphasize, man, as Mike Breen often does, that his fans are, in fact, really loyal.
Would you tell Craig that we'd just rather not have the same words in the lead that Charles is going to read that in this particular case Delbert was going to say?
Yeah.
And to spend some, and if we can't do it properly, don't do it then.
You got it, I.
God, I think it would be fundamental, wouldn't you?
Craig doing double duty out there today.
Well, then don't do it then.
That's the point. We'll tell him that.
Not any sort of excuse.
Nope.
Where's the program director today?
Not here.
There you go. Off doing something. Don't know what.
So we don't have an engineer to work with Craig, right? What you're telling me?
We have, he has an assistant.
Well, he's not doing double duty then.
Apparently.
Well, he is or he isn't. He's either out there by himself or he has somebody with him. Which is it?
He has somebody with him.
Okay, then.
A novice.
Why?
Well, because breaking the new kid in, a very talented young man.
Well, apparently not. We'll have a talk with everybody about that at 10, won't we?
I believe we're going to have a big talk with a lot of people today.
Get the program director in here.
Right away.
It's 9:15. Where's he today?
Hopefully getting some anthrax.
What else, Charles?
From John Carmody's, from his column this morning in the Washington Post, the long-expected house cleaning at the cable news network following the arrival of former ABC News executive Rick Kaplan has finally begun. A spokesperson for the network confirms that 4 employees, 3 of them network veterans, will be leaving CNN at the end of the year. Departing will be the Washington-based medical correspondent Jeff Levine, out of here, Atlanta-based staffers Kitty Pilgrim, Kathleen Kennedy, and Lyndon Souls. They don't know when they're going to depart exactly, but there is supposed to be some sort of an announcement coming from CNN, also regarding other people who might be coming on board. That expected soon.
Well, why are we getting rid of Lyndon Souls?
I don't know.
He's actually pretty good, isn't he?
I think he is. I really do.
Homophobia there?
I don't know.
No, not homophobia, Bernard. I don't think that's anything to do with it. Do you, Charles?
No, I don't think so at all. Souls, who anchors 3 weekend news programs, joined CNN 4 years ago after extensive experience in Canadian television. No replacements named as yet, but as mentioned, an announcement on network plans is due shortly. And Geraldo Rivera reportedly has given NBC News until the end of this week to match an offer from Fox News that would give him a nightly newscast and a talk show on the Fox News 6-channel cable network, 6 primetime specials on the broadcast network, and make him the lead newsman for both networks on any breaking news story. So they have until the end of the week to match the offer, or I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, the Fox cable channel there, and a lot of homes, Geraldo. That's a good move to make. 17 after the hour.
Viva was a dreamer, never got